I guess we're going back to the palace as Sir Mythos planned. Though I guess Fritz doesn't know why we're here, because all his memories, I guess while being Varg, obviously he just doesn't know. So, Princess, why are we here? He really doesn't remember anything about last night. I guess his memories must truly be separate from Varg's. I've been trying to remember, but my memories feel like they're slipping through my fingers. Why won't you talk to me, Princess? If I said or did something wrong yesterday, I'm sorry. You did not do anything wrong, Fritz. He was the one at fault, not you. He? When I open my mouth to tell him about Varg, I find that the words are stuck in my throat. I turn away from a few moments, the gloom settling back on my shoulders. But after hearing what Varg said, I do not have the courage to tell him. Not yet. I mean, I don't know if that's a good idea, but I don't know. Is this not good, you know? Yeah, what is this? Because yeah, you have a dark side or whatever, you know? I mean, it's not like that's a bad thing, is it? I mean, Luce's always like, you know, good and bad, you know? She's kind of an ice princess herself. Like, Fritz being like a bad guy, and, you know, having like a dark side, isn't that like it's not like a deal breaker or anything? I don't know. Anyway, why won't you look at me? Have I been a fool to so blindly trust Fritz all this time too? Or maybe that's, I don't know. Or maybe that's the reason, you know, because if he has a dark side to him or whatever, then maybe he's her knight all this time for his own, you know, ulterior motives or whatever. At least that's the idea. Though I doubt it. I think the reason why he has that other side of him is not so much that he's trying to take advantage of, you know, Lucette, but you know, the other reason. Anyway, Princess, you're here. Sir Mythos, the preparations are complete. You are now free to enter your old home. Sir Mythos pushes open the gates and walks through. I take a deep breath and follow after him. I have so many emotions inside of me right now, and I cannot even begin to parse through them. Before I take more than a few steps forward, Fritz's fingers curl around my wrist. Excuse me. Princess, what is happening? The look in his eyes is familiar. He wears the same concern and worry for me that he always does. He seems every bit himself, but he's no longer the same person to me. I'm going home, Fritz. I pull my arm away from his grasp and follow Sir Mythos into the palace without looking back. Resurrection. And we're only in chapter 6, so I don't... What's happening? Tell me the story again. Do you never tire of that story, love? Please. Well, since you asked so nicely. Once upon a time, there was a queen who had a daughter. That she loved very much. The kingdom the queen ruled was a cruel and mean place. The people were liars and thieves, and it was terribly dangerous. The queen knew that the kingdom would never be safe for her beloved daughter if she didn't work to change it. Just like a complete... Literally, that's just the story of Lucette and her mother. So the queen worked day and night with magic. Hush, dear. So the queen worked day and magic, used her magic. Worked day and night, use her magic to take the bad people's energy from them, so that they couldn't cheat and steal and lie. And then the queen made sure that the energy would stay with her and her beloved daughter, so nothing could harm them ever again. And the queen and her daughter lived happily ever after. Okay. That in itself was like a fairy tale, I guess. And Fritz is just getting more and more confused. There are 2 days remaining until my 18th birthday. I've been living in the past the last few months, and while it's not what I expected, it's still not so dissimilar that I'm uncomfortable. I get to stay in my own room, and I'm served the same food as the occupants of the palace, only now I'm not expected to share my meals with the king and his family. It was strange that nobody even asked who I am, not even the king. But that did not matter. What was important that I'm back in the palace. Only a witch like Sir Mythos could have orchestrated all of this. Did he mind control everyone? Magic was all I needed to bring you back here. Convenient, isn't it? Who exactly are you, Sir Mythos? What is a witch like you doing here in the palace? I am your mother's faithful servant, your highness. But I do not recall ever seeing you here until after Mother passed away. I did not work within the palace at the time. Once your mother passed, I took a job here to fulfill her wishes to protect you. I was consumed with worry when you disappeared all those months ago. I suspected immediately that you were cursed, and that the Lucis bearer had acted to keep you concealed from me. If only you could understand the relief I felt when I learned that Fritz had found you. How will you prove that you're not like the people of the Martian, that you will not lie to me or betray me? Sir Mythos kneels in front of me and places a hand over his heart. I made a promise to my queen that I would give you my undying loyalty, princess. I would protect you with my life. I mean, in the other timelines, I don't know about that. Him saying that does little to convince me that I can trust him. Everything I am doing is in the service to my queen and my princess. So, what is it that Mother requires me to do? Patience. I wouldn't want to ruin the surprise. Sir Mythos claims he is Mother's faithful servant. That should be enough reason for me to trust him, but I'm still on edge. What is this surprise he has in store for me? I mean, yeah, we learned that in the last route, and at least in Rumpel's route, he wanted to resurrect the queen, you know, and everything. I wonder what it requires of Lucette, though. We didn't really know how, you know. All he said was like, you know, we become the Tenebrae bearer, and we somehow, you know, used our power to reform Mother's soul and everything, you know, because her soul was inside the crystal. But I wonder if we need to sacrifice, well, I don't know, our body, you know, our soul. We like destroy our own soul and put Mother's soul into her own body, and then she becomes the new queen in a younger body and everything. So I don't know about that. My thoughts drift back to the occupants of the Martian. They kept saying that they cared about me, yet I have not heard from them at all. Even Rod, who lives here, I barely even see him. And Fritz. Since I returned to the palace, I've been seeing less and less of Fritz, and more of Varg. In the beginning, I continually asked Fritz about his memories of specific days, of the times when he was Varg. Fritz never seemed to recall anything. You know, actually, yeah, this actually reminds me, yeah. There is a similar story that happens in a light novel ever. Kind of a spoiler. I think I guess I'll say it. It's from, what was it? I actually forgot. I forgot the full name, but it's like, Misery of Maria and the Empty Box, you know, that light novel. I read that light novel, and there is a similar arc that happens that involves a split personality and everything, and, you know, the original owner of the body forgetting, you know, the times when his body is taking place and everything. So it reminds me of that, let's just say. He just smiled at me sheepishly and told me that his age was probably making his memory worse. Okay. Fritz isn't that old. Since then, things have changed. I no longer bother asking Fritz about things he surely does not remember. Fritz does not remember anything related to Varg. Yet Varg retains all his memories as Fritz. I know I should tell Fritz about Varg, but it is a fear that he will not believe me, but also something much worse. I'm worried that whatever is inside of Fritz will only lash out at me, part of them that Varg came from. If I were Fritz, I would not be able to believe it either. I look toward my shelf of dolls. I'm able to shake my feelings of disquiet. The dolls are the same as always, their glassy gazes focus on nothing and everything. It looks so empty without... No, I do not miss her. I do not miss anyone. Right? The sound of footsteps pulls me out of my thoughts. Who else is wandering the halls at this time of night? I'm unable to restrain my curiosity, and the emotion soon drives me from my room and out into the hallway. I gingerly follow the faded footsteps down the hallway, and there I see two familiar people, Sir Mythos and Sir Alcaster. I grow impatient. 2 days is an insignificant amount of time when you already waited so long. Okay, this is actually deja vu, I think he said this before. I've been waiting years. The princess is safe and will continue to be safe, just as you required. Our agreement was clear, so Alcaster, I will not help you until after the princess turns 18. I will remember the sort of aid you have requested of me. What prevents us from killing Gennaro now? A small gasp comes from my mouth. I'm not able to muffle it in time, despite the fact that I hold my hands out to my lips to keep myself from shouting. I stop breathing even as my mind whirls. Kill the king? Why would Sir Alcaster and Sir Mythos want to do that? That sound. Do not try and distract me. What do we lose by acting now? I want to do it now! Kill the king now, man! We could lose everything we act too hastily. I think it would do you good to learn some patience from your son. Varg. Sir Alcaster? Varg, what a pleasant surprise. Sir Mythos smirks as Varg moves to stand just off to the side of the two men, his expression solemn. I trust that you have tamed Fritz. What are you talking about? You have not noticed, even when your own son is being overwhelmed. Varg is gaining control, slowly but surely. Okay, oh no, that's a bad thing. He no longer has to wait for Fritz's consciousness to descend into sleep. In a few weeks, perhaps even days, Varg may be able to help us during the day. And that's why I have only seen Varg at night. If he can act during the day as well, what will happen to Fritz? I hope you're not trying to avoid your mission staying here. How curious. Perhaps Fritz is stronger than you think. That weakling. Don't make me laugh. I just find this extremely boring. Varg shrugged before walking away. How interesting. I do not prove his methods. What would you have me to do to prove him? He completes every task you give him. He has softened. Well, let us see if he completes this task. Then we will know for certain where his loyalties lie. As Sir Mythos and Sir Alcaster begin to walk away, I exhale. I feel a slight shudder when Sir Mythos stops and gazes behind him, his eyes wandering to my hiding place at the end of the hall. My heart thumps loudly in my ears as I wait to hear him leave. The wind has a bitter chill to it tonight, like ice. Mythos turns on his heels with a slight twitch of his lips before he disappears. I think he knows, I make my way back to my room in a daze. My whole body feels weak, and when I eventually get to my bed, I crash down on it feeling numb. They mean to kill the king, but why? Sir Alcaster and Sir Mythos are two of his most trusted advisors. What could the king have done to make them desire his death? I mean, Sir Alcaster wants to rule the kingdom, Mythos wants to resurrect the queen, so... Why does Sir Mythos wants to wait until I'm 18? What happens then? Does this have anything to do with that gift he was talking about? Does Sir Mythos plan on using me for something? I clench my hands into fists and inhale sharply. I think of the other things that came out in conversation. They said that Varg might be able to act during the day soon. Does that mean Fritz will disappear? My breath catches in my throat at the thought. Princess, there's no need to look at me like that. It's my job to know you, Princess. And right now I know something's not right. It's your job to protect me. Knowing me is very different. Princess, please, Perhaps you should worry more about yourself. My job as a knight is to protect my charge, put their life before mine. If I can't protect you, how can I call myself a knight? Fritz reaches out as if to touch me, but I shrink away. Do not touch me. Sorry, Princess, please. Know I'm always here if you need to talk. flashback from the very beginning. If Fritz disappears, what will happen? I almost jump when I hear someone shouting just outside my door. Quickly, Emmeline. Rod? I quickly stand up and move toward my door, only it open to catch a glimpse on the outside, and end up opening the door into Rod's face. He comes to an abrupt stop and glares at the door that blocks his straight path, his hand outstretched as if he meant to reach for my door. Rod? Emmeline? It's so late. What are they doing out of their rooms? Rod's fingers tighten over Emmeline's hands. They both look exhausted. Emmeline's on the verge of tears. What's happening? Rod seems to consider something before he finally comes to a silent conclusion. His eyes glare right into mine. Get out of the way. Rod's voice is colder than usual, even for him. Emmeline's eyes widen as she stares at me in shock. Rod, but I thought... This isn't the time. Ah, so here's where the rabbits escaped. Varg? Varg is slowly making his way over to us, his posture relaxed, expression indifferent. He does not even look winded. Oh, this is a complication. I guess he's chasing, the two siblings of the royal family. They're trying to escape, I guess, because I assume, Mythos is using them as hostages, basically. Sure. Is this the mission Sir Alcastle is referring to? Rod tugs at Emmeline's wrist to prompt her into motion, but the two of them are too slow. In one swift motion, Varg has circled them and tripped Emmeline, toppling her to the floor. Varg moves forward to grab her, but before he can so much as touch her, I jump into action, pushing Varg from the side. I move to stand between Emmeline and Varg. I can hear Rod helping his sister up, but my eyes are trained on Varg. What are you going to do to them? Why do you care? Why do I care? Because I know this isn't something Fritz would do. Varg hesitates, giving Rod time to act. Rod throws a vial that breaks upon the impact of the floor. Releases a cloud of smoke that envelops everything around it. Ninja vanish! I feel someone's fingers on my wrist, and then I'm dragged away. When my vision clears, I see Emmeline standing before me, holding my wrist tightly. Come on! What was that? It is something Lady Parfait made for our escape. Our escape? Did you really think the Martian gave up on you? We must move. Okay, we're gonna run away. We run towards the palace tunnels, a place I've not visited in many years. I thought they barricaded this. Not quite. Do you think we've lost him? No, not yet. Emmeline turns to me, her eyebrows drawn over her eyes in a look of sympathy. I'm so sorry you got caught up in this. I know we were all meant to escape together according to Rod, but we were not expecting it to be like this. It was difficult to get a hold of you with Varg hanging around. But thank you for what you did back there. I don't know what I would have done if you hadn't helped us. I'm suddenly uncomfortable speaking to her, so I turn to face Rod instead. What does Varg want with you? My best guess is that he wants us dead. That can't be. How else would you explain the way he came after us, Em? Why would he want you dead? Rod's bright eyes seem fiercer in the darkness of the tunnels. I think it must be what his master wants. After all, dogs only respond to orders. I'm offended, Prince. Oh, he just pops up, okay, you just can't get rid of him. You. I whir around, dread rising in my chest, as I turn to look at Varg, who's slowly catching up to us. This was meant to be quick. Varg looks at me, his eyes glittering with amusement. But as always, you complicate things, Princess. I cannot hide how much I'm trembling, but I still hold out my arm to protect the siblings. Go. Not without you. Go, now. Come on. Run away! I turn back to Varg as the two flee. My body tenses as I wait for Varg to move. I will stop him, or at least buy them some more time. Varg remains still as a statue. He remains rooted to the spot. I have no idea how long we stand there, frozen in place. I have a staring contest. You never cease to amaze me. What's gonna happen now? Were you going to kill them? He's not answering. Does that mean I'm right? Is this what Sir Alcaster ordered you to do? Why else would I be here if not for an order? Why would he want you to kill Rod and Emmeline? Why does he want to kill the king? You overheard quite a bit, huh? Probably a little more than you should have. The tension in the air becomes palpable and becomes harder to breathe. Varg's fingers tighten on his cane. He wouldn't hurt me, would he? Varg moves, and for a few moments I'm frozen with terror. Then a word I had forgotten long ago suddenly comes to my lips, unbidden. A word that Fritz once told me before. Adiva. How you say it? Adiva? Adiva! What is that? Is that a real word? Adiva. This time it is Varg that freezes. He raises his cane but never comes down. His eyes are wild even though he hasn't moved. Suddenly he looks like as if he's restraining himself. I can see the struggle on his contorted expression, and then I realize that he's fighting to stay in control. What? I remain still for another moment, my mind racing. Okay, I don't know. I mean, I guess we'll see. I will learn what that word means later. Somehow it brings Fritz back, I guess. Varg drops to his knees, and I see shadows forming beneath him. Tendrils of darkness snake their way up his body, beginning to engulf him. This is what happened last time when he changed back into Fritz. There's still awareness in Varg's eyes, however. His gaze is cold and accusatory. It remains that way even as the shadows creeps their way up to his face. I find my feet again and rush past Varg into the depths of the palace. I run, too frightened of what I might find if I look back. They were not gonna wait for Fritz, I guess. We're just gonna run away. Okay, flashback, I guess. I assume, again, this is where we learn the word. Are you alright? If you were truly worried for my safety, then you should have told the king how unsafe it is for me to leave the palace. Is that a nice job, Sir Fitzgerald? You have so little faith in me. What? Don't you trust me to keep you safe, princess? A few years ago, when I swore that I would give my life for yours, I meant it. I still do. I would never let anything harm you. Ever. Perhaps I need to make another promise to you, princess, so that I might ease your worries. Remember this carefully, okay? Adivia, or Adiv, I don't know how you... Okay, I'm gonna Google, help me. What is this language? Is it just a made-up language, or how you say it? Let's see. Idiavu, or Adiva, fine. There's no Adiu. Okay, well, I can't find anything as a definition. And let me go here, I guess. Adieva. Translate from Latin, it means help. Okay, is it Latin? Is that true? Is that Adieva? It means help, maybe? You know, it's like Tasquete! You know? I don't know. What does that mean? It's from an old language that no one speaks anymore. It's what people used to say when they were calling for help. Okay, yeah. I guess I didn't have to look it up exactly. I wanted to learn how to pronounce it though. I already forgot. Adieva, right? Adieva. Something to call when I need help. If for any reason I'm not there when you need me, just say that word. Scream it at the top of your lungs if you need to. I promise, I'll come running. A knight would never break a promise to his lady. Trust in me. I have to go. Okay. Goodbye. So I guess we did use the word. I've been awake for hours, unable to sleep. I stand at my window waiting for anything to happen, but all is still beyond the glass window pane. I have no idea what I ought to do. What's gonna happen now? Should I tell someone? I return to the palace because my room still feels like the safest place, but why? Am I here because I feel I need to tell the king what happened? Because I hope that Fritz will return. Okay, so I guess when we ran, we didn't actually run, through the secret passage back to the Martian. We just went back to our room. Okay. I do not even know if the king is still here. I haven't seen him at all. My hand instinctively reaches out for my necklace, and I realize that there's an additional piece. Oh, okay, we got a good deed somehow. I look down and a small gas escapes from my lips when I notice a new piece of the glass slipper. A new piece of the slipper. But how? What was my good deed? I remember the night I helped Rod and Emmeline escape from Varg. That was a good deed? Princess? Fritz. I've been looking for Prince Rod and Princess Emmeline. Have you seen them? My eyes are beginning to sting. I'm startled when I realize there are tears burning my eyes. What's wrong? Varg's gained control. No longer has to wait for Fritz's consciousness to sleep. In a few weeks or even days, Varg, might take over his body. Can I trust Fritz now? Can I even trust him? Fritz looks at me with worry clear on his face. He draws closer to me, his hand reaching out for me. Yeah! I pull back immediately, my breath caught in my throat. Princess? For a moment I just saw Varg. What's going on? Will he believe me if I'm straightforward? Something's been wrong ever since we returned to the palace. Princess, please, Fritz clenches his hands into fists. His face twists with obvious pain. Please, let me help you. And then we get tricked because it was Varg all along. Oh no! Oh well, I guess I don't know. We have no allies, no one's gonna help us. This is the only one here. We only depend on you, but you're like unreliable only because you keep turning into the other guy. Fritz, I do not know how to explain. He slowly moves toward me again. Start from the beginning. Fritz carefully slides his hand over mine. You can trust him, right? Fritz, you're cursed. Princess, you've been worrying about me? There's no reason for you to be concerned about me. Neither of us have actually seen this curse in action. You are cursed, with a separate cruel personality. It's the one that's been scaring me and last night, you, were gonna kill Rod and Emmeline. His gaze is a confused muddle of worry and doubt. You don't believe me. I do not doubt you, Princess. I'm just confused. How could I not know about the existence of an alternate personality, or about a curse inflicted on me? I pull my hand away from him and cross to the other side of my room so that my bed acts as a barrier between us. Varg knows you. How is it possible that Varg is so aware of you when you do not even know he exists? I begin to pace, my emotions whirling. Yeah, ironically, even though, you're a bit sad that we aren't seeing much of Fritz. Because, because even though it's his routes, we see more of Varg. Even though I guess technically Varg is him. So maybe it still counts as him, but, not the same. Yeah, we don't see much of actual Fritz. Now how am I to trust you when you won't even trust me? You were supposed to believe me. How could you not? Why do you think I would lie about this? Last night I thought Varg was going to kill me, and I used that word you taught me because I felt I was in danger. What? I said it and he stopped, and I thought that maybe it was you who heard me say that word. The words become tar in my throat, choking me. I trusted you. Fritz's eyes are dark as he drops his gaze to look solemnly at the floor. And now? Now I do not know if I meant to. Silence descends upon my room. When I finally look at Fritz again, the man I see is a stranger. Gone is the friends that I once knew, and standing in his place is nothing but a shadow. I thought he'd be different. He showed me so much kindness and pretended to care, and yet Mother was right. Mother was always right. I feel a dull ache in my chest as I turn on my heels to look away from Fritz. This is what happens when you trust in someone. This is what happens when you begin to believe in others. Hug. The power of hug. I gasp when I feel strong arms wrap around me from behind. I can feel Fritz's warm breath against the back of my neck. I send shivers tumbling down my spine. Let me go, Fritz. No. I order you to let me go. But Fritz only tightens his grip, while the warm embrace is suffocating. It is also oddly comforting. Sorry, Princess. I cannot be ordered to leave you like this. I swore an oath to you, and I made a promise to myself that I would always stand by your side. No matter how much you push me away, I will always be here for you. From the day I was assigned to you, I saw how much you suffered. That's why I will protect you with everything that I am. I bite my lip as I struggle to keep myself from crying. How can I trust Fritz's words when Varg has done nothing but cause suffering to everyone around me? But it seems like I have also been the one to cause you so much pain. He loosens his arms until I am no longer within his embrace. I suddenly feel cold and empty, but I do not move toward Fritz again. His voice is very soft when he speaks again. I am sorry. I do not look up when he leaves. You cannot rely on anyone but yourself. You cannot trust anyone but yourself. How can I have forgotten that? Reverting back to an ice princess. On transition screen? We never really actually saw that transition screen before. As far as I know, it's the first time. If I had been able to have my way, I would not have left my room at all. After everything that has happened, I do not think I want to know what Sir Mythos' request is. I also worry that this so-called wonderful gift he wants to show me. Perhaps he means to kill me, along with the king. Surprise! It's you dying! Surely I should be more alarmed with this epiphany. If for some reason I only feel numb. Now, here's Varg. I do not acknowledge Varg when he enters the room. Princess? But that's what you're thinking about, but it's all written all over your face. That, and I happen to have the memories of it too. Poor princess. Your knight in shining armor turned out to be less of a hero than you thought. Stop it. Hurts, doesn't it? Well, I did tell you. I wonder why you're so surprised. Varg, you think you are annoying our princess, Varg. Your Mythos' presence for once is actually a relief. He bows to me, but I no longer believe the smile on his face. Princess, you have my most sincere thanks for agreeing to meet me at such late notice. Was it that you want to show me, Sir Mythos? Actually, answer me this first. It has been troubling me for some time. Why do you want to kill the king? I see you have much to talk about. Let us walk and talk, if you don't mind. Sir Mythos looks at Varg. Do not disturb us, Varg. When you say TCH, like, usually you click your tongue, or, in a lot of animes, people go like, ch, like that, ch. I don't know if that's like a Japanese thing that people go like, ch. I feel like, I don't know if people go like that in real life, or, I don't know. Varg disappears back into whatever shadow he emerged from as Sir Mythos and I make our way back into the hall. It seems my suspicions were correct. You did overhear Alcaster and I the other night, didn't you? Princess, I must assure you that I have nothing but your best wishes at heart. It is not that I that wishes to remove your father from power, that is Sir Alcaster's desire. This is what Julian spoke of all those months ago. Did she discover Sir Alcaster's motive only to be discharged from the order as a result? Why did you agree to help him? I required Sir Alcaster's assistance for certain things. It was a mutually beneficial decision for both of us to work together. But do not worry. I never had any intention of going through with your father's murder. Is this why you were delaying him until after my birthday? Sir Mythos' smile is almost genuine. My princess is wise, just like her mother. I realize that Sir Mythos has led me into the dungeons, no, into the secret tunnels, which do look like dungeons. I don't know. Where are you taking me now? My princess is also impatient, just like her mother. The impudence of this man. You said Varg answered to you, but he also carries out Sir Alcaster's orders. It was Sir Alcaster's desire to take over Anjo as cleanly as he could. He sought to accomplish that by killing all those who were clinging to the throne. So Rod and Emmeline. But I was never gonna let him kill you. In exchange for ensuring your safety, Sir Alcaster required, among other things, a servant. So I provided him with one. Sir Alcaster needed something, or someone that could remain close to him, in hid in plain sight, so to speak. He also required that he have the skills of a trained knight. Sir Fitzgerald was capable of guarding you, my princess, but he was not as capable of carrying out Sir Alcaster's other orders. But why go to such lengths to curse Fritz? Princess. Sir Mythos focuses his intent gaze on me. Something dangerous and bright shimmers in his eyes. I shrank back. Any threat to your life had to be removed. Besides, I'm under the impression that your loyal knight would be happy to sacrifice part of himself in order to become the perfect guardian. What do you gain from doing all of this? I require something from you, something only you can provide. It is something I had to wait for, as you need to be 18 in order to give it to me. That's without context. That's a little weird. I've been preparing this gift for you for a long time, my princess, but obviously he's referring to the Terramber, thingy. It is the gift of resurrection. I'm giving you a phoenix down. No, I will bring back the queen. What? Will you help me? I don't know about this. I don't know about this. Mother is dead. Mother's dead. Only a name. Mother's been dead for years. If she'd been alive, I would have known. Your mother sustained great injuries during the Great War. She needed time to heal. Where has she been? And why would she pretend to be dead? Why would she leave me alone? Your mother is sleeping, and you are the only one that can wake her. Why me? My princess, you are heir to more than just the kingdom of Angel. Queen Hildir was the bearer of the Crystallum Tenebrarum, one of the two Crystallum of Angel. What? As her daughter, you are the next bearer. You are destined to be a great witch, just like her mother. Or just like your mother, man. My mother? A witch? Impossible! Bacana! It is the truth. You were so young then, my princess, and the world was so cruel to you. Why do I not remember any of this? The queen sought to protect you, and shrouded your memories of the pain you suffered at the hands of the humans. Is this why the people of Angel despise and fear me? But once you turn 18, you will inherit the full abilities of the Town Brown Bearer. With that power, we can revive your mother. Is this not what you've been dreaming of since you lost her? I dared not even dream this was possible. For so many years, all I wanted was for mother to return to me. But now, no, I cannot falter. Mother was the only person I could trust. She is still the only person who loves me. I've made my decision. Tell me what I must do. Sir Mythos smiles and steps aside. Behind him is a large rusty door. Come with me. Hey, oh, it's her face. It's Mom. Hey, Mom. I guess she's frozen in the crystal, I guess, or something. Mother. Never really saw her before, I guess. She is still as beautiful as the day she became one with the Terrambrarum. Sir Mythos reverently strokes his hand across the Terrambrarum, as if caressing Mother's face. Alright. Can you, settle down your, yandariness? These last 4 years, I've come to visit her as much as I possibly can. I cannot wait to see her beauty grace the halls of the palace once more. I can only imagine him, salivating or something. Is that the word? Salivating? Yeah, salivating, Drooling, or I don't know, anyway. Sir Mythos turns to me. Place your hands on the Terrambrarum. Wait, before I do this, Sir Mythos, you said you have no desire to kill the king. Yes? Swear to me that you will not allow Sir Alcaster's plan to succeed. Swear that you will protect the lives of the royal family. I do not fully understand why I'm asking this of Sir Mythos, yet a part of me feels compelled to do so. I may not see them as much of a family, but they have done nothing to deserve death. My princess, swear it. Very well. I swear I shall not allow Sir Alcaster to kill any of the royal family. Ding dong. Okay. Yeah, you honestly can't tell whether he's in love with her or just obsessed with her as a student. Kind of both. But also just obsession, I feel like. Just in general. He's just obsessed, Queen Hadir, I feel like. Remember that time in the Rumpel route? Rumpel was like bluffing how maybe like he was like a strong witch that got like abandoned or something, or maybe not a strong witch, but like he was like a weak witch or whatever, right? He was like a weak witch that got abandoned or whatever, and he was like a patient for him or something. He was patient for some doctor, probably not Rumpel himself. But yeah, he was like a witch, but he was like weak, and he was like probably like probably one of the victims actually of the humans who burned the witches and everything. He escaped with his life, right? And I'm thinking, well, this is all speculation and probably not true, but like maybe his backstory is that he was a witch that tried to protect other witches, right? But he couldn't, and all his witch friends died to the mercy of the humans, and thus, even though he escaped with his life, he's been pursuing power ever since. And since Queen Hadir is the most powerful witch there is, he admires her so much that he sees her as like a god, right? And so he always wanted to be strong, but he kind of forgot why he wanted to become strong and everything. Even though he wanted to become strong to protect his friends, now he wants to become strong to get revenge on the humans, and blah blah blah. I'm just thinking like typical anime villain and everything. But maybe that's not true at all. I don't know. Who knows? The clown tower. I said clown tower. No, the clock tower chimes. The bell echoes in the chamber. The sound dull and eerie. Sir Mythos's eyes flash as he gestures his hand wildly. Now, princess, now! Nani, what was going on? The air in the room becomes cold. So cold I actually feel my body becoming like ice. Something's wrong. This does not feel right. I try to move away, but my attempts are thwarted by some kind of magical force. The Tanner is pulling me toward it. Is it like, well, actually, I don't know. Is it like, I think I lost count of how many days, but is it like her birthday right now? Is it like, did she turn 18 right now and then she's actually activating the crystal at this very moment? Sir Mythos. It is too late to turn back now, princess. No. The pull is strong. I'm drawn to it like a magnet. The invisible force renders me like a puppet. It takes hold of my body and forces me to raise my hand to the crystallum. I press my palms against the face of the Tenebrarum, my hands framing my mother's face. Her expression is gentle in her unnatural sleep. The Tenebrarum is freezing beneath my fingertips at first, but it steadily begins to warm as the clock continues counting down to 12. Yeah, is it like, midnight, I guess? Technically midnight? A birthday? The warmer the Tenebrarum grows, the colder my body feels. Feels like it's sapping all my energy. Like the Tenebrarum is feeding off of me. The pain starts slowly. It creeps up and out until it's flooding my entire body. I attempt to twist my body away from the Tenebraum's surface, but my hands are stuck. I turn to Sir Mythos for help. There's nothing but a crazed glee to smile. Okay. Yes, yes. His eyes are focused on the crystalline form of my mother. I become dimly aware of the tears that are beginning to fall from my eyes. I cannot go on like this. My vision starts to blur until I feel myself falling into endless darkness. Oh, I guess we're dead. Hey, flashback. Mother? Yes, my sweet? What are you doing? I'm planning, dearest one. Mother has me ready for when she takes over Angio. Planning my world domination. But doesn't Father rule Angio? Oh, sweet. Father will soon be too tired to rule. Mother will rule for him. And when you are grown, you shall follow in my footsteps. I will make Angio a kingdom to behold, my darling. You will never be hurt, and no one shall deny you anything. The people will bend to your whim, and will behave as they ought to. There'll be no bad people? No, dearest one. There will be no bad people in our kingdom. I will make sure of that. You okay? Chapter 7. Perspective. So, oh! Okay, we're not dead. Alright. Opening my eyes and moving my body is a struggle. I feel sluggish and numb, and there's a suffocating heat in my chest that makes it difficult to breathe. When I finally do rise, my thoughts are tangled and confused. Where am I? She lives. Oh, okay, he's far without his mask. It's kind of weird, actually. I turn my head just in time to see Varg rise from a chair just to the side of my bed. Has he been sitting there watching me? And he's not wearing his mask. What are you doing here? You've been out for a week, princess? Oh, okay, it's been a week. A week? I think you would know how long you've been playing Sleeping Beauty. After all, I've been here the whole damn... Varg quickly clears his throat before gazing down at me, an exasperated expression on his face. Do you even remember what happened? Memories suddenly flood through my mind. They are fragments, but together they create a startling picture. Sir Mythos in a room. 12 chimes of the clock, my 18th birthday, the Tanabrarum, and Mother. I sit up immediately, only to succumb to a wave of nausea and dizziness. Much to my surprise, Varg reaches out to steady me, his grip firm but gentle. Slow down, princess. You're not ready to fight me yet. What time is it? Almost dawn. Will he become Fritz again in a few hours? Or have I lost Fritz forever? Would you believe me if I told you Fritz doesn't want to see you? The awareness of my last conversation with Fritz hits me full force. After what happened last time we spoke, I'm not surprised that Fritz does not want to see me. He was too ashamed to face you. I had no idea Fritz would react the way he did to your words. I had most of his stronger memories. Not all of them, but most. I thought he had most of mine too, but I guess that's not the case. What memories do you have? That's none of your business. The expression on his face is clouded. For a few moments he's silent, thoughtful. In the beginning, they were mostly of you. What? Varg glances away. I notice the way his fingers drum uneasily on his cane and stare. I've never seen Varg look like this. I carefully slide my way over the edge of my bed, allowing my feet to dangle to the floor. Yeah, I'm thinking like, maybe Varg doesn't take over his body entirely, because you do share his memories, maybe their personalities start to blend in together, so they end up being the same person after all. I don't know. Fritz cares for you, princess. Take my word for it, if no one else's. Why is he suddenly telling me like all this? Will I ever see him again? Or is he lost to you? Varg flinches back from me, taking me a few steps back to put some distance between the two of us. I can't say. I watch Varg closely. I never noticed before, but Varg's emotions are very clear if you know what to look for. Are we gonna press him? Of course we are! Of course we're gonna press him, get more information out of his testimony, Hold it! You cannot say or you won't say. Princess, the gentleness with which he says my title makes me think of Fritz. However, just as I'm beginning to hear Fritz's voice through him, his demeanor changes once again. The vulnerable man disappears and is replaced by the usual facade. Varg straightens and glares at me. He displays his confidence to hide his true emotions. He seems like he wears two masks. You are more like Fritz than you care to admit. Fritz will never harm me. Varg snarls, but he no longer intimidates me. Fritz this, Fritz that. All you ever talk about is that idiot. Though I've been the one by your side this entire time. Fritz is nothing compared to me. Why do you feel threatened by him? The words render Varg speechless. Do I smell a really kind of weird, but also, I don't know, maybe it's wholesome love triangle? I dimly notice the patterns of red dawn scatter across my room. The sun is almost up. I look back to Varg, my eyes seeking Fritz. Varg moves, his eyes fierce as he closes the distance between us. I do. How's it go? I do. Ah! Oh no, he stole a kiss. What? Varg presses his lips to mine. I mean, is this... I don't know, is this kind of... I mean, you're still Fritz, but also you're Varg. That's weird. But yeah, love triangle with himself. It's weird. Okay. Varg presses his lips to mine, effectively stifling the rest of the world. I have only a moment to gasp out of breath before Varg kisses me again more deeply. I raise my hands to push him away for a brief second as my mind hazes over in shock. Varg takes advantage of my confusion and moves forward again. An unreadable expression in his eyes, he leans over me. I try to pull away, but Varg tangles his hand in my hair, tilting my head back to press his lips firmly against mine once more. No, this is not right. I tremble as his free arm sweeps down my back and eventually comes to a rest at my waist. Why is he kissing me? He doesn't even like me. Anger clears my mind. I bought my. Is that what you're thinking? I guess I was just thinking. Does that mean he doesn't like me? Why is he kissing me? He doesn't even like me, or whatever. You know, you would think it'd be the opposite. You know, I don't like him, not so much that he doesn't like me. Anyway, I ball my hands to fists and shove at Varg's chest. His eyes are bright and out-focused. When I'm able to look into them, his chest betrays his labored breathing. I wipe the back of my hand against my mouth as I glare at Varg. Bleh. I do not trust myself to speak without screaming at him. Coherence slowly starts to filter back to his gaze. I can see the awareness in his gaze along with guilt. I suddenly realize that my cheeks are now wet with tears. Why am I crying? Varg takes a step toward me, and though he does not utter a single word, I can see from his body language that he means to apologize. He reaches a hand out as if to touch my face. No! Get away! I move back and close my eyes. Adiva! 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 Who's that? I open my eyes when I hear the familiar voice. I watch as Fritz quickly rushes to my side and kneels in front of me. His hands cup my face as his thumbs brush against my cheeks, wiping away the tears that I cannot stop. What did he do to you, princess? Fritz. I feel suddenly overwhelmed, like there's too much whirling in my mind. I'm not sure how long we sit there together. It feels short, like a single moment, but it could have been an eternity. I'm sorry, princess. I shake my head in an attempt to clear my fractured thoughts. Fritz frowns, but the expression clears as he brushes my hair away from my face. My fingertips gently trace my cheeks as he speaks. I failed as your knight. I should have never left you alone that night. I could have stopped all this from happening. All I've done is cause you pain. And this past week has been hell. I didn't know if you'd wake up, or if I'd be able to be with you when you did. He looks at me, his expression grim, and I wasn't there when you did. Varg was. This feels, I don't know, a little NTR-ish, but also still technically the same person? I don't know, again, it's weird. You finally know about him? Fritz nods as he gives me a pained smile. No apology could ever be enough to excuse what I did to you. I doubted you that night because I thought what you were saying was impossible. I wondered how I could be cursed without knowing about it. But now, I hate myself for treating you the way I did. I must have put you through so much suffering because I did not believe you. I know I've never been worthy of you, but now I betrayed the trust you had in me. He drops his hands and pulls away from me. I don't think I have the right to be called your knight. I reach out and grab his hand without thinking. Don't say that. Fritz looks at me in shock. His wide-eyed gaze only makes me feel embarrassed, and I have to focus to keep from floundering. After a long moment, Fritz manages to smile at me. It is small but genuine. I don't deserve your kindness. Kindness? Is that what this is? We sit together in silence for some time, enjoying each other's calming presence. My room is quiet as the sun steadily starts to rise. Do you know what has happened during the last week? I'm afraid not. I wasn't myself for most of it. I wonder what happened. Like, 7 days has passed. Like, what happened to Alcaster? Did he die? And is the royal family, are they fine? Is, I don't know, is the deer back? Or, I don't know. He's fading even faster now. And when I feel that I've truly started to know him. I've already told you about the disappearance of the prince and the princess, but it seems that the queen has gone missing as well. Ophelia's missing. I can only hope that they made it out alive, and that Rod led them back to the Martian. There they will be safe. I did not think I would ever trust anyone there. I still don't, but Parfait said that the Martian is a place evil cannot overtake. And whether or not Varg is truly evil, his mission is to kill them. I can at least be sure Parfait will protect them. King Gennaro's still here, but he's different. He's not himself. And what happened? It's your mother. The day you fainted, that same morning, your mother returned. Oh, okay. She's here. She didn't take over a body or anything, I guess? Or she has her own body, I guess. I was thinking, like, yeah, would she, like, sacrifice herself just to survive her mother? I guess not, but I can only stare at Fritz in shock, knowing that what happened that night wasn't just a dream. Everyone in the castle is acting as if nothing is wrong, like the last 4 years haven't happened. The instant I saw her, I recognized her. And after that, well, I don't remember what came next. My next conscious moment was today, when I saw you. Fritz raises his hand as if to touch my face, but he abruptly pulls it away. He flinches, then doubles over, his face contorting with pain. No, not now. I won't let you. His eyes are cloudy, his gaze turned inward. He's speaking to the other side of himself that I cannot see. I reach out to him and try to call him back. Fritz! He looks up at me and attempts a sad smile. He's trying to make it seem like he's fine. When he speaks, it is through gritted teeth. I'll never let him hurt you. Can you trust me? About that at least? Yes. Lucette. The shadows dance around him, almost tauntingly at first. Then they simply engulf him, and Fritz disappears into darkness. I take a step back. I hate to interrupt. You again. I snarl at him, but Varg merely shrugs. He looks indifferent, as if what transpired between us before never happened. I have things to do today. Varg turns away and walks briskly out of my room, while glancing back. I make my way through the hallways of the palace, determined to find Sir Mythos. Over the past few months, I have been all but invisible to the people in the palace. It allowed me to pass undisturbed. I'd always figured it was because no one remembered who I was with my curse. But today things are different. A maid sweeping the hallways jumps at the sight of me before quickly curtsying. Oh, Your Highness! Her eyes are downcast, and she does not look up at me as I pass by her. Okay. As I walk past her, 2 other servants heading in my direction also move to the side of the hallway. Your Highness. Oh, Your Highness. They remember who I am now? But how? Has my curse somehow been broken? I spent the entire morning searching for Sir Mythos, but he's nowhere to be found. The only room I've yet to search is the throne room. I push open the doors and walk inside. There, I'm met with an unexpected sight. The king sits on his throne, his posture regal, his eyes downcast. Okay, what's happening? What happened to the king?